everyone, I'm Kate Andrews, and here's a look at what is going on this week in the news. When we begin from the Vatican, Amoris Laetitia, The Joy of Love on Love in the Family, has been released. Pope Francis's document on the family contains no new rules or norms. However, it encourages careful review of everything related to family ministry. Much of it is tied to the theme of God's mercy, though he repeated his insistence that the Church cannot consider same-sex unions as marriage. Pope Francis insisted every person, regardless of sexual orientation, ought to be respected with dignity. He also focused on the ministry to the divorced and civilly remarried. He said that instead of a one-size-fits-all way of thinking when it comes to communion for remarried Catholics, every situation should be treated differently. This is why he said the Church needs a new commitment from pastors to provide spiritual guidance and assistance. He said that divorced and civilly remarried Catholics must be welcomed in Catholic parishes. In news from around the world, anti-Semitism is still thriving, according to the International Catholic Jewish Liaison Committee. Members of the committee said that there is also an increase in Christian persecution. The Dialogue Committee met in Warsaw, Poland, April 4th through the 7th. They issued a declaration saying now is a moment of moral challenge for people of faith. The statement said that despite the fact that the last 50 years have seen unprecedented openness between the Jewish and Christian communities, the last few years have witnessed a surge of problematic developments. They said that anti-Semitism has resurfaced and persecution of Christians has increased every year between 2012 and 2015. The statement said that anti-Semitism is not only a danger to Jews, but also to democratic ideals. And back to the Vatican, there was a very special attendant at Pope Francis's general audience on Wednesday. Lizzie Mayers and her family traveled all the way from Ohio so that she could see the Pope for what was the first and probably the last time. Rome Reports has more.
The moment has come. 5-year-old Lizzie Myers has fulfilled her dream of meeting Pope Francis. Within a few years, this young girl will completely lose her sight and hearing because of a rare genetic disease. This is why the Pope has tenderly blessed her eyes and ears. Lizzie brought a gift with her, this small box with a piece of meteorite. After Pope Francis greeted the little girl's parents, who were also asked to pray for him, he asked Lizzie's sister a question.
What's your name?
Her parents, Steve and Christine, will always remember this unforgettable moment. As they relive this magical moment, they express how the family feels about this encounter.
As soon as Pope Francis came up to where Lizzie was, a calm came over me. I don't even know how to explain it. We came here, again, hoping for some amazing memories for Lizzie, something that she'll remember when things change for her. But what we got was, I think, we've seen several miracles, I believe, myself. And I think that, what Pope Francis has done for her, if there's any chance for a miracle, it'll be there.
Since the beginning of all of this is the first time I felt peace.
In a few days, they will return to the United States after this incredible experience. They say they will continue to show the world to Lizzie before her eyes cease to see it and her ears stop listening altogether.
Back to news from around the world. Pope Francis will travel to the Greek island of Lesbos to meet with migrants. The trip will highlight the dramatic situation of refugees left in limbo there. The meeting will take place April 16th. He was invited by Greek President Prokopis Pavlopoulos and Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew of Constantinople to make the one-day visit. The Pope and the Patriarch will be joined by the Orthodox Archbishop of Greece when meeting with refugees. Father Federico Lombardi, Vatican spokesman, told reporters that the visit shows that the Christian churches are united on major challenges. Lesbos is just a few miles from the coast of Turkey. It has been a haven for refugees from the Middle East for years. According to the International Organization for Migration, approximately 172,000 migrants have crossed into Greece and Italy since the beginning of 2016. And finally, in the news, Pope Francis met with members of 3 different Methodist groups at the Vatican. The World Methodist Council, the Methodist Council of Europe, and the Methodist Church in Britain were in Rome for the opening of the new Methodist Ecumenical Office there. In his remarks, the Pope said that Catholics and Methodists can still learn from one another how holiness is lived and understood. During the April 7th meeting, he said that there is a growing closeness between the churches and the desire to overcome all that stands in the way of full communion. While differences remain, the Pope said that dialogue continues to enrich both communities. Citing the words of John Wesley, one of the founders of Methodism, the Pope said both communities must help one another in whatever leads to the kingdom. Well, that's going to do it for news. I'm Kate Andrews. You can keep up to date on Catholic news throughout the week with Catholic Newsbreak right here on the Catholic TV Network.